The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. Ultimate TV.
He's in a great spot. Now. He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive head has blocked everything. That was a huge play, but we have seen none of it. Finny, he's done it.
We are a group of Ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
our
work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Good afternoon to you. Welcome back to the World Flying Disc Federation YouTube channel, broadcasting coverage of the Joint Juniors Ultimate Championships. We are back with World Juniors action, under 20 mixed division action here this time. And we have Sweden taking on Slovakia. My name is Benjamin Rees. It is a pleasure, as always, to be with you here in the glorious surrounds of Wrocław in Poland. And I'm joined on co-commentary for this game by Rachel Toshnerova.
Hello Benji, hello everyone watching from home or from the sidelines. We are streaming all the WJUC action for free for you all week long, 5 games a day. It is exhausting, but what wouldn't we do for you? There is Slovakia in black. On the opposite side is Sweden in white, setting up for their first point of the game. Both of these teams, I believe, making their first appearance on the stream.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of Swedish sides today, but none in the under-20 mixed division. And yes, there's only one Slovakian team at the tournament this side, and this is the first chance we've got to have a look at them.
Lovely for Slovakia to put together a team.
Yeah, I must say it's always exciting to see countries that don't necessarily always have the ability to attend such events be able to get a team together and compete and be competitive as they have been.
Absolutely agreed, Benji. Slovakia recently struggling a little bit with their frisbee scene, as some of the older generation kind of moves away from active playing and they try to get their youth involved. Still, Slovakia faced with some adversities in this tournament already. Their head coach couldn't make it after all, I believe a missed flight or something like that. So the two coaches that you will see on the sideline will be more of the assistant side of things, but it will have to make do.
So it'll be Sweden to begin this game on offense. Andreasen has it. Just being very patient with it to start. Trying to find that underneath option. Right into the gut of Andreasen. Going down the far sideline, hits Ostrovsky. Over the top blading, but well tracked by Fonselius. Wants to continue that into the end zone where Andreasen makes the catch. And that is a nice clean hold to start for the Swedes.
That was a dangerous put, that high blady flick, but it worked for Sweden. It's a clean hold.
Those of you wondering what's at stake and how the under-20 mixed division works here at WJUC, we have 7 teams. They all begin in one pool. And you have a round robin. You play each team, and then after 6 games, the top 3 go to a power pool and the bottom 4 to a lower pool. You replay games in those pools. So the top 2 in the top pool go to the final, and the other team in that pool plays the top team in the lower pool for a spot in the bronze medal match. Hungary and Switzerland are both unbeaten at 5-0 so far this weekend, so they will be seeing a spot in the power pool. Sweden 1-3, lost 2. Slovakia 1-2 and lost 3. But if the Slovaks were Slovaks,
Yes.
sure, yeah, we're able to vanquish Sweden here, they'd both finish with a 3-3 record, and Slovakia would take that 3rd spot on the head-to-head tiebreaker.
The disc sails out of bounds for Sweden. We're back at where we started with the weather here in Wrocław.
Yeah, this must have landed on the sideline because it's brought in, or landed inbounds because it's brought in from the sideline. Molnar. This one is going to float, overshot, and then getting the second effort grab for Sweden is Fredriksson. First pass goes to Reinström.
Sweden with the difficult task of moving slightly upwind. It's more of a side wind, really. You see the flags in the background blowing towards the camera.
Swedes being very patient. Eriksson Sviven. Pops up a little bit then, reeled in comfortably by Van Quali. Trying to get that cutter going up line. They don't like the look though, still count rising. Can they find an option? No. Gullstrand ran out of options and their disc was low and it ricocheted off a Slovakian defender for the turn.
That was good patience from the Swedes. Not the usual D-line attack you see, but Slovakia finally able to apply pressure towards the end zone, but they lose disc on the centering pass.
So maybe a bit of a gift here for Sweden. Eriksson Sviven picks up. Has a little bit of a look into the backfield and does reset central to Renström. Again, going backwards now, Lindblom. I think he's trying to access that inside space. It's a difficult throw. It's fluttering in the wind, but it's brought down and towed in bounds as well by Otto Edgren, although there might be a little bit of a conversation about whether he was in or not.
Let's watch that one more time on the replay. If it was out, it must have been the front of his foot landing on the line, which we cannot really see from this angle. So it will be once more up to the players to apply the spirit of the game correctly, get the proper perspectives.
Edgren is a player who grew up in Belgium actually, but has moved back to Sweden now, and they are going to call the goal good, and Sweden will break to take a 2-0 lead.
Early decisive stuff out of Sweden. Slovakia, maybe with a little bit of nerves, making an appearance on the stream for the first time, knowing that the pressure is on. We have lots of Slovakian fans watching. Hello to Slovakia or wherever else you're watching from to support your national team. If you want to participate in the discussion, please make sure to hit the subscribe button on the WFDF YouTube channel as well as the Alti TV one, where we bring you all the U17 action. And if you want to follow the results of this tournament live, there is a link placed in the description of this video for your convenience. You will find everything you need to know about your favorite teams there. Not just the final scores of their games, but also live scoring from each match. And finally, the spirit scores are there as well.
Looking at the previous results, these two teams seem to be pretty evenly matched. Sweden may be slightly on top. They were able to defeat the Netherlands, while Slovakia were not. Stromova finds Červenec, going it down the sideline, but incomplete.
I think Červenec wasn't looking for Eštokova there, who was, or maybe he was, so difficult to say. That one was definitely too far for her. But there was another chance by the other approaching Slovak player. Nonetheless, Sweden start on their own end zone line.
Fredriksson is deed. Slovakia will pick up quickly through Hurny. Into the end zone, one pass ultimate, and it works a charm.
Cheeky throw from Hurny. That one was directly against the wind, and it was a high release backhand over the top. But luckily there was enough separation for the Slovakian player, and they get one on the point.
You see it again here, trying to get that in short order, but it's a big hand in there from Červenec, and he was the one who went to the end zone and scored the point afterwards as well.
Šimon Červenec, out of the north side team from Slovakia, lives in Podvysoká. He's 183 centimeters tall, so they do have some height on this Slovak team.
That's what, just shy of 6 foot, maybe about 6 foot?
Sure, yes. Let us know in the comments if you can do the calculations. But honestly, we have Swedes and Slovaks watching. They'll be fine with the centimeters, Benji.
Why would you do this meter? I tried to Google it and it's given me meters to kilometers. Why?
Because that is useful. But back to the action on the field.
It's just over 6 foot.
Side stack look from the Swedes, or else it was a split stack.
Yeah, coming underneath is Oskarsson. Stillcat must be rising a little bit here. Trying to find the reset. Breaks off central to Tammy.
She keeps her cool on that one.
Tammy pops it off to Andreasen. And a foul on the mark is uncontested. Molnar just getting a little bit too keen. Oskarsson thought about the shot down the sideline. Resets centrally instead. Arensmeyer. Arensmeyer unleashes an absolute monster. Defended. No, you don't catch your D's, and that's what can happen. Alexander Hager making the grab for the score.
Devastation for Šmatlánek. He was right there. I can't believe he made up that round. That he was so far behind and he was able to get there, lays out, gets a hand on that, but doesn't smack it to the ground. The disc rather flying off towards the sky, and a second effort by the Swedes.
Did so well to close that gap, because when the throw went up, I thought there was only ever going to be one outcome. Well,
Šmatlánek is not surprising to want to be called on the stream Lightning McQueen, because he showed just that in the end zone.
I mean, he got... The disc ended up with the Swedish goal, as it looked like it would, but certainly not how I expected it. That was such closing speed.
That's going to make the highlights for sure. Šmatlánek says he enjoys completely obliterating his teammate Daniel Molnar at Clash Royale. Whatever that is, but shout out to his mum Jarmila, who is sure to be watching.
Clash Royale's a mobile game.
Ah, I wouldn't know.
I do not play it. But Just trying to get those bragging rights in the fun facts they give us. I like it. Nice inside break there to Esther Michalkova. I have to make the differentiation because we also have Natalia as well. This one put deep for the Slovakians and past the bidding defender. Juraj Hrny brings it in for 3-2.
Now that was another nice matchup. I think we're going to see a lot of them, the players so far on the male side, looking very equal on those big plays in the end zone. Hrny is out of Prešov, and he started playing because his ultimate is the best sport ever, and it gives him undescribable joy.
Same.
His fans at home is his family, his friends from Westview High School, Indiana, and Skyhawks members. He played apparently ultimate frisbee with a team named Skyhawks.
Here's the replay of that put. It's really close to defending, and the two number twos going up against each other. And Eriksson Sviven comes up number 2 on that one as Hrny reels it in. So Sweden having that early break, but the two sides have traded since then.
Good for the Slovaks for keeping the game nice and close. That's what we always love to see.
Yeah, it's what the form book indicated that we would have as well. So it's always nice when you psych yourself up for a close game, and it delivers as well.
Both coaches from the Swedish as well as the Slovak side walking around the sideline in a very important manner, carrying their little notebooks.
Would love to find out what's inside.
All the secrets.
So with the wind blowing towards this sideline, can Scholten find a way off? Maybe? They're just going to contest it and send it back. Violation, surely? Yep.
Scholten's sporting hero is her dad because he's very good at ultimate, in particular handling. Here she is, learning some skills from him.
Oh, the upline pass overthrown, tipped away by Slovakia. Jakub Malec.
Who also has his dad, but here on the sideline with a camera in his hand.
Slovakia looking to bring this game back on serve. Bit of a slip there from one of the cutters. Schmadlanek comes underneath. Trying to work across the far sideline. Looking for options. Just outside the end zone is Esther Michalkova and punches it in. I think it's Chervenets again, bringing this game back level at 3s.
Slovakia, no hesitation, knowing that the break chance is close. They take it and bring this game back on serve.
Does feel like these two sides are going to chop and change leads. Feels like one side's on top and then it'll swing the other way. Slovakia certainly show that they are up for this game. A lot of that defense, I think, was set up by an excellent pull to start because it pinned Sweden right in the front corner of their own end zone. On the trap sideline as well.
And we haven't seen many teams that have dealt with the situation every time consistently well. So like we said, we started the week off with lovely weather. This morning we saw a little bit of a cloudy sky. I even felt one droplet of rain fall on my shoulders, but we're right back where we started. Lovely hot weather, beautiful green grass here at Pola Marszove, and Sweden with another offensive point.
So after getting broken, can they reset themselves? Andreasen wants to go big again. He's looking for Arensmeyer. And I think there's going to be a foul called on the bid. It's Chervenets again, who's making his impact felt defensively.
Not a bad look by the Swedes. I think they were just aiming for the disc to go a bit further. And we will let you judge for yourself based on that replay whether you feel like there was contact or not.
Andreasen did say be ready for soaring hucks, give and go, and some laughs as well. And so the outcome is that the foul call is going to be retracted. So Slovakia will have the disc with an opportunity to take the lead for the very first time this game.
Not too many retracted foul calls in the end zone. Great spirit from Sweden.
Slovakia bring it to the front of the end zone. Estokova. That one, oh, really well read. Suleiman Yaya picks it off.
Call on the field stops the play. Glasses fall off, but they're still safe and working.
That was brilliantly intercepted by Suleiman. Guys, if you stand there, we can't see, I'm afraid. Thank you. Swedish sideline very politely clearing out of the way. Looking for the reset to Arensmeyer, instead going downfield to Suleiman, who won the disc back for the Swedes. Andreasen kind of slips downfield. Everything getting quite congested, but he does get the reset off to Arensmeyer.
Admirable effort by the Swedes on the resets. They're losing yards, but not the disc.
Nice little inside shot there coming from the far side of the field. Suleiman.
Takes the bump on the mark, but says nothing.
Short little flick out towards the far sideline. Now back in the hands of Arensmeyer. Arensmeyer, oh, this is a spicy shot down the sideline. There's a pick called.
Will it have affected the play? That is the big question.
I think that although Oskarsson did brilliantly to track that down, it looked like Stromova had stopped as a result of the pick call. So Sweden have to put that behind them. Get reset, and that's a lovely inside flick and a high grab. Brought down by the Swedish receiver, Hager. And they go back on top 4-3.
Smart play by Sweden, waiting for that break side to open up. That is the direction of the wind. So you can get a disc down there quite quickly with an inside throw, or else just pop it over the shoulder of your defender for the around. Both work quite well, and Sweden eventually punch it in. That was Hega with the score, was it?
I believe so. You saw Suleiman do very well to earn the disc back there for the Swedes. You might be thinking that's not a traditional Swedish name. Born in Eritrea and came to Sweden when he was 3 years old. And I always find it
almost discouraging. No?
No, I was going to say I find it quite heartwarming when yeah, when you know, people have to try and start their life in a new country and they make the best of it, and as well kind of recruiting people from more diverse backgrounds as well, because Ultimate is generally quite a
inclusive sport, or at least we would like to think so.
It tries to be, yeah. Sometimes it doesn't always hit those demographics and diversity, so it's something that I think as a sport we still try to improve on, as that's that backhand blades way out of the sideline, and the Slovakians will not hesitate to bring that in from the brick mark.
When I said discouraging, I thought you were going to continue with the interesting facts about Suleiman, saying that he has already won Swedish championships several times with the senior team and the junior team.
Yeah, I mean,
so these overachievers, you know, in the junior division, always bringing us a lot of heartache.
Absolutely is discouraging. One of many who have come through the youth system at KFUM Örebro. Here's a deep shot. This time it's Slovakia putting it up. They're looking for Danovska. Expertly done.
Danovska tracks that down. She doesn't lose sight of the disc, and that is an easy score for Slovakia. Danovska from the capital of Slovakia, Bratislava, plays for Outsitters since 2019, and she has already represented Slovakia one more time in 2019. The EYUC hosted exactly at the same spot as the joint junior ultimate championship is taking place right now.
Yeah, and LGTV was there 3 years ago as well. Have you ever been to Bratislava? I imagine you have.
I have indeed, but I believe it was only one time that I got a chance to walk around. Usually we just drive right through it.
Yeah, I must admit, my only experience was we had about half a day there on the way back from Djur for EUC 2019, and I liked what I saw, but yeah, you always got the feeling that you never quite... I mean, I could have been there for a week and not seen all of it, but you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Somewhere that I'd like to go back to in future.
In any case, if you're struggling to locate Slovakia on the map, it is right from Austria and also right from the Czech Republic. Both of these two are neighboring countries.
And it's kind of up from Hungary as well.
Correct.
My European geography, I think, has improved as a result of doing this job. Ostrovsky applied for dual Swedish and Polish citizenship, which he hopes will be granted very soon. So representing one country on the fields of another. Oskarsson coming free down the far sideline, finds Ostrovsky. That one is a little bit low. Fonselius makes the catch regardless. And now trying to lead that blade into the end zone. Rolls it around the defender. And Arensmeyer tracks it down to make it 5-4. This game has some real quality on show.
Arensmeyer playing for the Frövi Lumberjacks. Also, plenty of national experience on his part. Sweden U17 Open in 2015, 16, and 17. And then the Sweden U20 Open in 2018 and 19. He's the Swedish Youth Player of the Year 2021.
Been playing almost 9 years now, which is ridiculous. Fans at home watching, grandparents, and his cat, Muesli. Which, good pun, by the way, I like that.
In any case, neither of these teams so far, Benji, seem to be struggling too much with the downwind points. So going from right to left of your screen. But it might be a case of who will be able to get a point on the board in the opposite direction that might steal the game.
Yeah, the teams were scoring upwind for a while, and then after Sweden got an early break, but Slovakia earned it back. And currently on serve, Sweden pulling here up 5-4. Eriksson Sviven with the pull. It's going to float again, gets a lot of air, but predictably the wind sees that and relishes the opportunity to push it out the sideline.
Players always adjusting to the ever-changing strength of the wind here in Wrocław. We've seen swirls in all different directions, but generally the heaviest blow is in our faces here in the commentary booth.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I think about him pulling it from this near sideline rather than from that far sideline with the wind as it is. Cibula. Here's Schmatlanek. Resetting into the backfield. Zagorova. Slovakia working this nicely between the handlers. That might open things up a little bit. Kolenya. Wants to roll his wrists across the end zone. Danowska scores her second Slovakian point in a row. Leveled up at 5.
Danowska, the scoring machine, keeps her feet in, makes sure that gets reeled in early and she's not stuck in that coffin corner, having to look for one more pass. Good around throw to open up the field.
He's seeing it again there on the replay. Sometimes it's dangerous going through the middle of the field, but he saw the lane well.
So no timeouts out of either team so far.
Yeah, the game's being played at quite a pace as well. 10 points finished, and we're just only about a quarter of the way through the game time-wise.
U20 division, of course, playing the 100-minute games, while the U17 are spared the last 20, playing at 80 minutes per game.
But all games this week have a hard score cap of 15. That pool is a little bit lower and flatter and lands pretty much bang on the brick mark and bounces forward. Arensmeyer. Nice initiation cut from Ostrovsky. Wants to reset that off to Andreasen. Now swinging to Arensmeyer. Arensmeyer looks like he'll find Ostrovsky again. It's quite rhythmic and systematic Swedish offense. Orbid comes in from Hörny, but that leaves him out of position, and that one is going to be tipped, and tipped enough to prevent the receiver from getting in. I think it was Fonselius, the intended target, but Eshtokova did enough with that hand to slap it away.
So proud of my 3S Beat teammate. She's joined us for this season, wanting to play Euros, and she gives Slovakia the first chance after quite some time to get a break against Sweden.
Yeah, this would give them their first lead of the game. Going for that raking around break into the hands of Eshtokova, who rips this across the field. Oh, it's tipped, but
a bit of luck on the Slovakian side.
There's a Swedish player holding her ankles further back.
But she gets up. It doesn't seem to have influenced the play as it resulted in a turnover nonetheless.
Yeah, the Slovakians maybe got away with one a little bit there, but they couldn't make the most of it. And Sweden here will call the game's first timeout. I get it, their offense looked a little bit panicked. So did Slovakia's, so just, okay, we'll take the breath here and, yeah, just calm things down. Just chill out a bit. But so far, early on in this game, it feels like both sides are very evenly matched.
I agree. Like I said, none of them seeming to have too much trouble bringing the disc. See that tipped off disc one more time, and that collection by Hörny. They try to continue to the end zone, but the disc knocks it to the ground. I mean, the wind knocks the disc to the ground.
I like that they were going for the give-go there, rather than just sending someone to the end zone. We'll just play it short and ping-pong our way in. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off.
So thank you for engaging in the chat. Besides a lot of Slovak fans, well, it is, I have to admit, it is actually really nice to see a random language being spoken in the YouTube chat that I can actually understand. Because often we get like French or Italian comments, and then I just get really confused and scared. I just wanted to remind you that this is a junior championship, and we like to keep the chat nice and positive, encouraging for the players who are doing their best here on the field. Some of them making a first appearance at a world event or on the video stream as well. But you've been doing great so far, so keep it up.
Yeah, whether you're cheering for Slovakia, for Sweden, or just an interested mutual party like our very own Luna, who's watching from Barcelona. Excited to have Luna as part of our Ulti TV crew earlier this year at Windmill, so Good to see that international representation.
Here, I have to translate this little comment from you from Slovak. Dominik Cibula says, our kids are doing everything nicely. They also throw away the disc nicely. He likes everything they're doing.
That's
even the mistake.
That's my sort of heckle, but you know, it is a juniors event. You know, you can obviously you've got to take it seriously, but
you cannot help but love everything the kids do.
Yeah, absorb the experience. Even the mistakes you make can be learning opportunities, and I appreciate that. Sounds like exceptional management speak.
So the players set up once more, looking like a split stack from the Swedes.
Ostrovsky, pops this one up. This is dangerous. Players get caught underneath it, and Shromova picks up the pieces. Here to Eshtokova.
We hear the loud "nye" as she doesn't want to take another dubious deep shot, instead goes short.
Very loud calling from the sideline here. Kovacic going back to Shromova, and that one hits the floor.
Wobble disc gives Sweden a shorter field to work with. Let's see if they can make the right use of it.
Andreasen picks up. Into the center of the field is Oskarsson. Struggling to find an option, maybe. Gets the reset. The bid comes in from Hurny, but he's, a bit of a way away from that. Now poaches off into the lane, so the reset goes to Andreasen. Ostrovsky, out wide to Hager. A shock of blonde hair. Ostrovsky, resetting to Arensmeyer. There's the swing available, doesn't want that initially. Gets Ostrovsky coming free from the front. Now going across the end zone, thought about it. Doesn't like that option though, and wants to ping it in there, but cannot connect with Cornelia Oskarsson.
Sweden under lots of pressure nearing the end zone. This is the third time, I believe, they have lost the disc in this point. It seems like there will be an injury called on the Slovakian side. We see Kovacic taking a sub, but as I see him stretching, it will probably only be a cramp.
Yeah, and it looks like that Jakub Kolenia is going to be the player who's come on. Got my tongue caught in my mouth a little bit there.
You're doing great, Benji.
I'm trying my best. That doesn't mean that I can't improve. And Slovakia are going to take a timeout on the end zone line of their own here. So while the players from both sides get a chance to have a little bit of a breather, we're going to do the same in the booth, and we'll be back with you shortly.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. Ultimate.
Wrocław, Poland, the venue for the Joint Juniors Ultimate Championships, and in the World Juniors Ultimate section of that, under 20 mixed action for you. Sweden and Slovakia tied at 5s. Slovakia bring the disc in from their own end zone with a chance to break to take a 6-5 lead. It's Benji Rees alongside Rahel Toshnerova.
Benji, what a game so far.
This point, however, has already taken about 10 minutes.
Sweden started on offense a long time ago.
They did indeed. It feels like this could be pivotal in determining the outcome of the game. Huge gainer underneath and immediately ripped across the field. Pressure, but kept in bounds. Dished off a little bit behind, but not a problem. Going into the end zone. Slovakia break and they lead for the first time at 6-5.
I cannot believe that that deep shot went in bounds and they even managed to connect with the receiver. That was huge. Let's hopefully see the replay of this.
I mean, it's pretty much how they would have drawn it up coming off the timeout. Get that big initiating cut going underneath and then turn and rip it across the field.
Yeah, Červenec was very, very open on the first undercut.
And Horny does a really good job of tracking it down and then, rather than forcing it towards the end zone, staying patient. Eshtokova to the option at the front of the end zone. Yeah, it's Kolenia, who came on during an injury sub earlier in the point.
Koleň, these are two players that know each other well. Eshtokova and Koleň both playing for the north side. And he says he chose his jersey number 33, because he loves Christ. That's all. All sorts of random facts by these players. Loving the diversity of the juniors.
I will admit that I don't see the connection, but that I am quite deeply unreligious, so I probably wouldn't.
The Christ years? No? Christova? Christ. 33, he was 33.
Was
when
he?
When
okay, right, I didn't know that.
Crucified.
But the only religious thing I know is John 3:16, and that was only because of wrestling.
Some more international audience tuning in. Fans from the Philippines.
Love that. Kenya as well. That's, yeah, ultimate reaching internationally. You love to see it.
Sweden now forced to play upwind.
Eriksson Sviven with a wicked low release flick into the center of the pitch. Adensmeyer tracks it down, now goes back to Eriksson Sviven. Reinström. On the sideline, Andreasen does like to put it big, and he will do so here. He wants to roll this over towards the far side of the field, and Sweden bring it in. Adensmeyer, I think, the target. And we are level at 6s.
What a play by Adensmeyer. His German dad will be so proud when he sees how high his son got. And despite falling down to the ground, he keeps the disc securely in his hands. And coach Tim Tegan will surely take some credit for that play.
It's nice when you say something like, oh, we know that he likes to huck it, and then Andreasen immediately hucks it. It shows that his tip-off was not inaccurate. That was a lovely break off the sideline. What I like there is the inward pivot. You know, rather than just focusing on looking downfield. So if I want to really activate that reset space, going perpendicular, squaring up the hips, and then I like this shot. There is pressure underneath it there from Colin, but the reason it works is because he's always fading that disc towards that break side, that far side of the field, and it's a lot easier read for the Swedish receiver than it is for his defender. Trying to roll it over the defender's head there.
So we're tied at 6. Slovakia now with the pressure on them to score.
Just going to play it short in the backfield.
One of the few caught pulls that we've seen so far on the stream.
In the hands now of Esther Michalkova, who is wearing Sesame Street socks. Janowska. Into the gut of Struharova.
I think Slovakia really need to get off that sideline.
Yeah, the Swedes really trying to trap them here. Estokova does a really good job of breaking the force to open up a bit more room to work. Kovacic with a rising stall here, goes for the inside flickle. This is going to sit and float, but the defender went for the bid early, and it was tracked down and now floating towards the back of the end zone. Wow, wow, wow.
And Benjamin Rees never says wow on the stream. That was huge. The throw from Estokova floated over the head of the receiver first, and then he kept tracking it down, and that jump was just humongous.
Juraj Hrny showing that there is no such thing as a lost cause.
First, Estokova needs to keep her eyes on the disc. Then she puts that lefty gun to good use. Hrny keeps his eyes on the disc.
Yeah, he does toe tap that right foot in bounds, it seems like. The presence of mind while you're laying out at full extension to do that is just unreal. I mean,
How?
you're going to be seeing that on your Instagram reels later today, I promise you that.
And there's even some Swedish counterparts watching our screen here in the commentary booth, signaling an in-call, but you can replay it at your own convenience over and over again, as these videos that are live on the WFDF and Alti TV YouTube channel will stay there, and you get to enjoy this great Youth Ultimate as many times as you want.
Yeah, they are free, live, and on demand in perpetuity. Sweden looking to hold here to go to Galaxy Point, and just a miscommunication. Threw it behind Andreasen, who was trying to be more aggressive and get some more yards upfield.
That has to be heartbreaking for Sweden. A miscommunication so close to your own end zone is always difficult to process mentally.
Zagorova. High grab brought in by Shromova. Oh, another high one. This one, Molnar gets underneath it and goes into the end zone for the break. Slovakia will take an 8-6 halftime lead, and they flood the field in celebration.
Molnar with a huge break. Several difficult catches, I would say, for Slovaks, but they waste no time. Head aggressively towards the end zone, and it pays off. They take the half in a streaking fashion, 8-6.
My, how they've turned this game around. Sweden were a break-up, but Slovakia really in the driving seat now. There's that really high reception, and then just flipping it. It is a little bit behind Koleń, but he kept his focus well. And Slovakia, at the moment, looking good, especially because they'll be receiving to begin the second half as well. Work to do for both sides at half-time. It hasn't been perfect either way, but Slovakia have been able to generate the big plays when needed, and that simple miscommunication for Sweden came back to bite them in the worst way. Sweden 6, Slovakia 8 is your half-time score. We're going to take a little bit of a break while the players do the same for about 5 minutes or so, but don't go anywhere, because the second half of this game from the Joint Juniors Ultimate Championship continues on the other side.
Bichon picks up, and they've got a short field. They've got another goal. It's tied up at 12. I cannot believe what I'm seeing
Can
here.
Lola Dam chase that one down? That is a score for Hartlicker Elfalkel. Fantastic run by Julia Lutz.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge.
And we believe that that requires knocking down the paywall.
We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch, and we want them to go viral.
When you become a member, you enable us to improve our working relationships with tournament organisers, events and federations.
And you'll help us to produce live stories for Ultimate fans, and to generate new fans with our enhanced content.
We are a group of Ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts, and we want to bring you coverage on a more consistent basis. We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Ciao ragazzi, support the community.
Let's subscribe Ulti TV. There's lots of the videos, posting, everything. Check it out. They are the best one. Woo!
If you want to grow Ultimate Sports, become a member of Ulti TV.
Regardez Ulti TV. Deviens un membre d'Ulti TV et fais grandir ta communauté.
Stop Ulti TV. Följ är roginki med Ultimate Avandromena.
Si quieres ayudar a Ulti TV, puedes ser miembro de Ulti TV.
Everyone, follow Ulti.tv on Instagram, on YouTube. They've got everything.
Best content.
Like their pictures if you love frisbee. Just do it.
We're counting on you.
Bli medlem på Ulti TV.
Became member
of Ulti TV.
Mamma mia.
Contribue au développement d'Ultimate avec Ulti TV.
Like and subscribe, Ulti TV, the best in the world.
We want to grow Ultimate.
we want to grow Ultimate. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We have our signature style 2-camera setup,
With thousands of hours of experience,
and our crew is globally dispersed to facilitate coverage everywhere around the world. We can also scale back our broadcast with just one elevated camera, or scale up with 2 fields, 2 cameras, and 2 commentators on each.
we work with local teams and we all have the same mission, to grow the sport and bring it to new people by providing live coverage and news stories.
Become a member today on our Patreon page.
And fund our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories, ideas and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Welcome back to the Joint Juniors Ultimate Championships live from Wrocław, Poland. Here on the World Flying Disc Federation YouTube channel, we have under-20 mixed division action. Slovakia taking an 8-6 lead into the second half and receiving here up against Sweden. It's Benjamin Rees and Rahel Toshnarova in the booth.
What a first half it has been.
As Estokova just fumbles that catch, giving Sweden an early chance to try and fight their way back here in the second half. But you are right. What a game it's been so far.
Slovakia starting a little slow, giving up a break right at the start. Then
Yet they eventually clawed that break back and then tacked a couple on to end the half. Sweden now will try and get back into that even footing. Eriksson Sviven. Squeezing it down the sideline. Van Quali into the end zone. No, not quite. Renström still just a step outside. A couple of players charge into that outline space. Arensmeyer wisely turns, goes back into the backfield. And with a little high release flick down the sideline. Brilliant way to access that space. And Filippa Reinström earns a break back for Sweden. Just down 1 now at 8-7.
Reinström out of Kockum's ultimate. She played the last time at EYUC here in Poland, and her team took second place at that tournament in the women's division, I believe. Her sporting hero is her brother, Jakob, who got her playing. He's 4 years older and has always looked out for her on the field and always tried to help her learn and become better. And he will be incredibly proud that she got that last point for Sweden. An important break to start off the second half.
So the way the under-20 mixed schedule works is it's a round robin from 7 teams. The top 3 go into a power pool, the bottom 4 into a lower pool. You need to be in that top power pool in order to have a chance of fighting for the gold medal, and the winner of this game will take their place in that top 3.
So lots at stake for this game. The clouds are closing in over field number 1 here in Wrocław.
Yeah, the wind picks up. You can probably hear it on the microphones as well. And there is another game in this division going on at the moment. You actually can see it on this field beyond this one. Netherlands up 8-3 on Israel. Here's the ball from Sweden. It blades and it bounces and rolls out the back of the end zone. Slovakia will get the chance to bring it to the front, but still an unenviable position for Zagorova.
Zagorova not quite in that coffin corner, but still in a difficult position.
Janowska gets it back to Zagorova. Can they find a way to get it off this sideline? The break goes to Molnar. Back to Zagorova. You can feel that the wind is going to be causing a problem. And there they just locked onto the receiver downfield. Struharova made her intentions too clear, and that allowed the Swedish defender to flash in there and get the block.
Chance for Sweden to respond with another break, a second one in a row.
Arensmeyer breaking around to Eriksson Sviven. Just dished off back to Renström, who of course caught the goal for the break on the previous point. They're going quite a way backwards now, but they are maintaining possession. Eriksson Sviven wants to shoot down the sideline, not much of a window there, but Oskarsson made a really good catch under pressure.
Struharova trying to redeem her mistake.
And the throw is in tight enough coverage that Edgren can't bring it in.
So Slovakia get the disc back, but still a whole field ahead of them. Can they march it down? Can they fight this ever-changing wind? Stack set up quite wide.
Zagorova. Mihalkova goes backwards. Sweden forcing everything short. Finally Slovakia try and open up the arm. Really nice catch made deep by Jakub Koleń. And an uncontested foul there on Schmadlenek.
How did Koleń get around his defender?
Just went up big. Got up there nice and early. Molnar. Oh, tight catch made, but well stuck by Zagorova. Now back to Molnar. Teasing that around break. Finds the opportunity to go downfield to Mihalkova. Now Janowska. Into the backfield. And a miscommunication there, because Schmadlenek was not looking for that at all.
Unfortunate overthrow. They were doing so well going through the break side. Despite the wind, they've really been finding the flow. But a miscommunication on the reset.
The wind very much picking up now. Eriksson Sviven Tries to roll this backhand. Doesn't quite get enough on it. And despite the layout, Edgren's not going to get there.
Not a bad tactics, Benji. It is a lost disc, but Slovakia, again, stuck in that far coffin corner.
On the downwind sideline as well. Tricky position to get out of.
But honestly, I have a lot of trust in Zagorova. She's been doing great in the handling space for Slovakia.
So what can she come up with? Tries to blast it into the inside of the field. Picked off comfortably. Eriksson Sviven finally connects with Otto Edgren. And Sweden break to bring us level. Just the start to the second half that Sweden needed.
A 2-point break run for Sweden. They must be very pleased with themselves. Whatever the coach put in their juice during halftime, it worked wonders. Otto Edgren gets redeemed. The first pass, deep pass for him, ended up on the ground, but he gets his score eventually. He has been playing for 6 years, comes out of Malmö, but is currently in Lund, where he is a university student. And he started playing in school, as a lot of these players, and his friends also played in a club. His club experience includes Glort Owls.
I think that's supposed to be Glory Owls.
Oh, Glory Owls. And Pipistrelles. Pipistrel in Belgium. Pipistrels, there you go, in Belgium. And his sporting hero is Rowan McDonnell.
Well, he's not the only player here this week who said that. Clearly, they're showing the benefit of getting himself out there. So when you suggest and wonder what they put in their juice at half-time, you suggest they've had some of Michael's secret stuff.
The what?
Have you never seen Space Jam?
Oh, I guess I haven't.
Oh, the joke is that it's just water.
Oh.
It's like, but the whole point's about the placebo effect. It's like you think that you're getting something better, so you play better. It's about confidence, basically. It's saying that he's given them the confidence.
And that is exactly the recipe to a successful junior team.
I can't believe you've not watched multiple Oscar winner Space Jam. I highly doubt that's true.
I apologize, and I shall update myself on that knowledge as soon as possible.
Well, I know what we're doing tonight.
Tied at 8, Slovakia back on 0.
Looking for the around break to begin. Chervenyets hucks to no one.
I think Hurni was signaling that he was tightly marked and didn't really expect that shot. But this time, Sweden in the difficult position of the corner of the end zone on the near sideline.
If they could get this break here, they'd bring the game back on serve. What a comeback that would be at the start of this second half.
One of the tightest games so far that we've had on the stream today.
A real back and forth affair, as we suspected it might be. Eriksson Sviven trying to zip that into the inside of the field, and it's a similar way that Slovakia turned it over. It's a difficult shot to take on.
Just like a replay of the last Slovakian offensive hold.
Esther Mihalkova picks up. They're calling for a violation because a disc has come over from the far field.
In this case, I believe the disc should stay with Eshtokova unless her defender stopped playing.
No, I don't think she did. They're just trying to work out exactly where everyone needs to be. Brought back in. Eshtokova squeezes the reset away. Kovacic back to Eshtokova, getting it around. Esther Mihalkova back to Eshtokova, wearing that wristband on her right arm in the colours of the trans flag. This one ripped across the field. Juraj Hrny, who's been such a threat for them in the end zone, grabs another goal And Slovakia take the lead again at 9-8.
So Benji, we've said that going downwind, neither of these teams have struggled very much, with the exception maybe of Slovakia coming out in that second half where they lost one to Sweden. But if the game stays tight like this, and then Slovakia just need to keep scoring to take the victory.
Just keep putting in those downwind points. You're seeing here that inside shot fired in from Chervenets.
It is really almost a question of the tactical approach here, because when you think about it, if you do force another break out of Sweden, you will also force your O-line to work that much harder against the wind, exhausting themselves and getting used to playing upwind when then they, at critical moment, might be forced to go downwind.
Just get the upwind break and then get the downwind break again. Easy.
Or that,
Yeah.
depending on how much faith you have in your O-line or D-line. But looking at how long it's taking for the Slovaks to get their line ready, I would almost think that they are putting on a power line for this defensive point, but it could be wrong.
See, this is the thing, Rachel. It's not just about playing 3D checkers or 4D chess. I'm out here playing 5D Ludo. It's another level of thinking. So we mentioned Slovakia taking time to make sure they get exactly the right 7 out there. A nice deep pull is a brilliant start. And it's going to ping Andreasen for Sweden at the back of his own end zone. Tried to get that poach coming in there, but Ostrovsky comes free enough to make the catch regardless. Nice high grab from Arensmeyer. A big pull deep is a really good way to maybe open up your offense. As this one put deep over the top, agonizingly out of reach. And Fonselius is as cool as the other side of the pillow to reel that one in.
Lovely stuff from the Swedes. The two female Slovak defenders closing in, and I think they could have gotten there, but maybe just slightly misread it as the wind pushed it more towards the Swedish receiver. But that's a nice, easy, quick hold for Sweden.
What a throw. Just showing that, yeah, sometimes, especially with the wind at your back, really opening it up is the right option, and it wasn't far out of reach. But Fonselius tracked it down perfectly. It was a really good pull from Slovakia. It put Sweden in a perilous position. If you wanted to get the break, that's a really good way of doing it, with a stonking pull. But Sweden held their nerve and held their composure well.
Well, what I really like is that Sweden is going right into the face of some of the commenters in the YouTube chat, as they were saying that Sweden is not using their girls enough or not playing enough with their girls. I think that hug just proves that they're very well equipped for a proper mixed game.
And it's what you want to see as well, both sides utilizing everybody on the field. There's no point playing 7-on-7 if you're going to look half your team off. So this time it's Slovakia's turn to work out from the shadow of their own end zone.
The Slovaks need to come a little closer if they want to utilize those deep shots.
That one always thrown into traffic. There was a bit of a collision, I think. Trying to see who the player is who's down on the ground. Zayatsova.
There will be no call.
Turnover stands, yeah. It does feel like it was just thrown into a risky area, and the Swedish defenders were there first, but it's good to see that Slovakian players okay. Sweden with a chance to break to take the lead. Inside flick, fired and rifled in to Liam Fredriksson, and Sweden are back on top at 10-9. This game continues to flip-flop like an Aussie beach.
Now that was incredible from Sweden. Let's see the replay. They get ready to pick up. Eriksson Sveiven. steps out so wide that he falls on the ground right after he releases that throw. And Fredriksson with the score.
10-9 now, Sweden lead. Part of the reason that play worked is they had that stack set quite over towards this near side of the field. It gave them a huge break side space to attack. And yes, Eriksson's 500 really well, getting that wide pivot out. But because they've set that stack so far away, it's not that really tricky inside-out shaped throw. It's flatter, and it can be flatter and zippier. And Fredriksson was right where he needed to be.
And like you said, setting up the stack towards the open side really creates that break side inside channel, and that is that much more efficient in the mixed category, because in any other category, in the separate categories, you can just put one person poaching in the break side. But in mixed, there's not enough time for you to set up, because there will be both genders in the end zone, and to communicate that quickly enough is almost impossible.
So here's the pull. Really good job actually there from Molnar, just to take a step back to make sure that it didn't hit him and count as that drop pull. Swedish sideline now getting loud, getting raucous. They've got on a 4-1 run to start this second half.
The Swedish sideline even getting a little bit in our way.
Shromova. There are a couple of players there who came down with it for Slovakia, including Struharova. Yeah, I'll put my teeth back in. Flick faked by Molnar. And now that one bounces off Molnar's hand. Throw maybe a little bit behind, but it's a game of inches, isn't it?
And Sweden with a newly found energy. They really seemed very pumped up at that last break that finally brought them back into lead.
Oskarsson comes underneath, makes the catch. Looking for Fredriksson, of course. Caught that last point. And the bespectacled Fredriksson dishes off, charges deep. Slovakia actually communicate that switch well, but then they blow it, and they recover in time. Renström, seen her brother here on the sideline, who she listed as her sporting hero.
That is some good switching downfield from the Slovaks, forcing Sweden to take a lot of passes.
It's early, and it's being communicated really well. Again, they really want to zip a throw into Oskarsson on that far sideline. Inside throw into that window, no. Handler coming up line, doesn't like that either. Heistel blading it, really well reeled in by Edgren. Continues to the end zone for Adensmeyer. Sweden 11, Slovakia 9 now. Looks like all that indoors practice the Swedes get in the winter paying off.
Quite a bit of indoor practice for both teams actually, as Slovakia are known for their indoor league. Given the smaller numbers on their team rosters, they really enjoy the indoors as well. But here it goes in the favor of the Swedes. They're really on a run, incredibly pumped up about regaining the lead in this game. It is late, but it's never too late for a comeback.
No, 100-minute games and games to 15. You see there, just lets that ball land before he stops it. Which is smart. There was that throw. It was just on that back hip rather than slightly out in front. You're seeing how that placement can be so important. And then this was the Heistel situation. They got into trouble a little bit here.
What an excellent solution to that situation, though. It opened up the field nicely.
And the nonchalance on the flip from Edgren to Arensmeyer. You'd never know that this was such a big game, with the winner going to that top power pool of 3, giving themselves the chance to potentially play for the gold medal.
The Slovak team entered in their team description that their biggest enemies are themselves. So if they can stay in the head, I am confident that they're more than capable to bring this game back to even.
I mean, we've seen it. We have seen it. But the pendulum just continues to swing. Can Sweden really put the hammer down now? Eriksson Sviven with a deep pull that lands, and Oh, stays in as well. What a monster of a pull. So they got the upwind break and then cashed it in downwind. Could they get another upwind break as well, Sweden? Maybe they can, as that put is on a high stall, just trying to get it downfield, but there was no one there waiting for it.
Kamila Zagorova visibly frustrated as there were very few options for her. Lots of players swirling in around the disc. A bit of nervousness maybe sneaking in on the Slovaks. So much pressure to score this point, but here is Sweden.
Eriksson Sviven. Lindblom goes to Robertson. Doesn't like that inside flick, so they're just going to play it around the back for now. Reset cut, not thrown to, and strip called and uncontested. Kovacic was just a bit late.
That was a great layout, but it seemed like Robertson already had his fingers around the disc.
This one floating, and the Swedish receiver got too far underneath it.
Kovacic reminding me of my own teammate Maciej Wilimek a little bit, with his glasses and skinny frame, throwing himself all over the place.
Yeah, we've got a couple of glasses wearers on the pitch this game. It's nice, rocking the specs. I like it.
Struharova takes off deep immediately. Eshtoková doesn't take it though.
Oh, just squeezes that past the bid. Chervenyets. Horny tried another athletic play. He's calling a foul here.
But I'm afraid it was Struharova who got in his way.
Yeah, I think that was his teammate. Got a lot of people coming over to have a look at the replay monitor. There's no one. It's unfortunately it's Struharova's the only one near him, and yeah, they do come to the correct resolution, and the turnover stands.
Good spirit. I know that one was clear, but still, it's good to see the teammates helping their player make the right decision.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you feel the contact, so you think, oh, obviously I've been fouled here, but sometimes it's only with the benefit in hindsight that you realise that there was no infraction. Reinström, blonde hair tied back in a ponytail, goes out wide to Eriksson Sviven. Wants to blade this one, cheeky throw, I like it. Just a little pop in front to Robertson. Trying to utilise the break side here, the Swedes.
That's some good quick movement out of them.
This one, you could see Hörny was baiting it, but he didn't get there. And the deep shot goes, and caught by Reinström. Coming through, wants to jump that one in. It's not going to be there, though, for Eriksson Sviven. He put it deep to Reinström to really open things up for the Swedes. Just outside the end zone, Lindblom. Coming free to the open side. Again, it's the situation where the throw's not out in front enough.
And Slovakia really bringing in the first aid packet. Their fans will need it for sure.
Yeah, and they're going to call the timeout to try and get their heads reset. And I'll be honest, I don't think that's a bad idea for us in the booth or for you at home as well. The scintillating in this game. Shall I start that again?
Yes.
The scintillating conclusion to this game continues very shortly. the Joint Juniors Ultimate Championships in Wrocław, Poland. Under 20 mixed action from the World Juniors. It is Sweden versus Slovakia. The winner will take a spot in the top power pool, giving them the chance to play for the gold medal and, at worst, putting themselves in the bronze medal match. That is what it means. It's Benji Rees alongside Rahel Toshnerova in what has been a deeply engrossing game.
All those adjectives. It's been just very, very thrilling.
You can't take your eyes off it.
You really can't. So many big plays. Stuff for the highlight reel for sure. Like we said, Slovakia starting a little slow, then really getting there on the run. They take the half 8-6. Sweden come out strong. Slovakia try to keep up, but then Sweden regains the lead, adds another break, creates that 2-point difference. I've been saying it during the break there that I think if Slovakia scores here, we will still have a tight game. If they can't make it, I think they might give up in their heads.
Playing the long ball.
Both players misreading that.
Yeah, I still think it's not a bad look from Chervenets because, at the very least, he's got it away from his own end zone. But yeah, both players got caught far too far underneath that. Not that Eriksson's 5 and 1 mind. Lindblom goes to Robertson. Still count rising here. Robertson just floats it into the center of the field. Tipped on and reeled in by Sweden.
Awesome awareness by Lindback.
Wow. This game is nuts. In the best way. Another high stall punt. Lindblom puts it deep. Who's coming down with it this time? I don't know about that.
Yeah, that one, I think, bounced off the ground before it was caught. Nonetheless, excellent effort by Robertson.
I must admit, I didn't get a good look at it first time round. We've got some very interested faces looking around.
This will have to be the players who solve that one, but...
Yeah, what we think here in the booth is not important. Well, I mean, there's the tip, and then off. Oh. I don't know.
Well, the rule here that could be helpful in interpretation of the situation that you cannot gain possession while sort of helping yourself get a full grasp of the disc off while the disc is touching the ground.
Yeah, the disc has to be fully in control before it touches the ground. I mean, I could look at this. I don't know.
Yeah, and just like many of these hotly contested situations, I think this will only have one sensible result, which will be to send the disc back because the players, not even with the replay, are unable to agree.
I like that both sides looked at the replay and both of them
were 100% sure.
100% sure that they couldn't, that they both saw it the opposite way. So in this situation, sending it back, I think is the right result because even if you can't even tell with replay, why not? But it's still the high stall situation. This time it's the inside out punt and a hand knocks it to the floor. It looks like Janowska, the culprit.
Great fake from her. She takes off deep and then gets the big undercut.
And then overthrows that down the line pass.
So, in accordance with the heavy, strong wind, several turnovers in this point already.
Goldstrand, whoa, somehow sneaks that one in there. Glass is thrown away, dispatched with by Kovacic.
He's done with the hat too. He throws that away to the sideline. Sweden nearing its end zone.
He's absolutely locked in. Robertson, a rising grab, well made by Renström. It's been so valuable this game. Hardly bids but doesn't get there. He's able to get back on the mark, but he gives up the break, and Sweden now continuing it all the way to the far side of the field where Lindblom has it. Lindblom looking around, goes back to Eriksson Sviven. This is remarkably calm given the circumstances. What will Robertson choose to do? Goes in short, finds Eriksson Sviven. And Elvis produce a little bit of rock and roll, not on that occasion. Going back to Eric Robertson. Eric Robertson, he thought about the swing, didn't like it, does go back to Elvis Eriksson Sviven. Everyone seemed to stop for a little bit. I think they might just be gassed rather than anything being called. Out into space, well snagged by Robertson.
Loving that matchup of Robertson and Kovacic.
As you see there, even Yisko just comes onto the pitch to retrieve Kovacic's hat, just in case the disc ends up back in that direction. Going to be checked in here on the mark. There was a pick downfield, I think. Back to Eriksson Sviven. Fakes the up line instead, goes towards the break side. The timing's just not quite there. Into the backfield, Lindblom.
But so many times the break side is open for the Swedes, and they go through it.
And they get the score as well. The pickup at the front of the end zone, the toe drag swag. I think that's Eric Robertson, who will. No, I will have to retract that. Maybe, I don't know. I didn't see exactly who it was. It's quite far away for us. But regardless, the score stands. Regardless of who it was, Sweden 12, Slovakia 9 now. That is huge for Sweden. They've really opened up a little bit of a cushion now. 3 points ahead, and they need 3 more to win.
The casual end zone offense for Sweden, really taking their time to finally find the right cut that they liked enough to put the disc in the end zone. Let's see the replay one more time.
That was the subsequent deep shot after the contested up call.
Here's Kovacic losing his glasses.
Here's the score, just a little cut towards the front side from Eriksson Sviven, and then that is Robertson at the front of the end zone. I just should have trusted myself first time round.
Yeah, just that last overbid on the mark opened up the middle opportunity.
It's always that risk-reward calculation, isn't it? Because if you bid and you get the disc, it's such a game changer. But if you miss out, and you can be punished for it. Credit Sweden for that.
So like I said, this makes it that much harder on the mental side of this Slovak team. But never say never. The time isn't over yet.
Why? That ball very nearly hit him on the way down, and again, Molnar had to take avoiding action to make sure that it didn't.
He likes the danger, doesn't he?
And that one will float and hang a little bit. Hager, we haven't seen him for a while, but he comes on and he gets the block. Now Fredriksson towards this near side. Disc put deep, shooting towards the back of the end zone. Who's there? No one's there. There was a little bit of contact underneath it between Schmadlanek and Edgren, but the disc was overthrown, and in the end it just sails out of the back, and that's going to give Shromova the chance to bring it from the front. Nice inside break to begin the possession. Schmadlanek goes back to Shromova. Oh, couldn't connect there with Molnar. The game slipping away from Slovakia, unless they can mount a red zone stand here. Arensmeyer will pick up just beyond the attacking brick mark over towards the right-hand side of the field as they look at it. Not really seeing a lot going on downfield that he likes at the moment. Eventually tries to set up Oskarsson in space, and despite the bid, Shromova is agonizingly close, but not close enough. And Sweden put in the downwind to go up 13-9.
And that is a hard break for Slovakia, who have done so well in the first half, taking the lead at 8-6, but Sweden really taking off in this second one. Again, we've seen that a couple of times from different teams. You just need to keep your foot on the gas if you want to finish strong. It's long games in this U20 category. We're playing until 100 minutes at least. And we're nowhere near that time frame so far. So Sweden going 14?
No, that is 13-9 up.
13-9 is making it that much more difficult for the Slovaks to come back.
You mentioned that it was 8-6 at half time to Slovakia. So doing the quick maths, 7-1 Sweden are winning this half. That's, some half-time improvement.
Slovak fans in the chat still hoping for the big comeback. Saying that Sarah Šromová was about 1/10 of a split second away from that D in the end zone. It was
it felt that close. It did feel that close.
Lovely layout bid.
Being ready to pull. Again, as you mentioned, trying to keep that foot down and finish off Slovakia here. Another deep pull means Slovakia have to start in their own end zone. They're looking deep big again. Hörny is so often the favoured target, but again, he just gets suckered too far underneath it.
Eriksson, Sveiven and Hörny being the matchup of this game. They just like to go deep, both of them, and it's really fun to watch them guard each other. I think this could be a start of a lifelong relationship.
Yeah, relationship, rivalry, who knows? That time, Hörny got hands on it, but just maybe asked too much of himself. That one well knocked away. We haven't really seen Jakub Malec too much this game, but he comes on now and he makes an impact.
Jakub Malec, of course, the son of Malec the senior, who's made an appearance with the Czech team Silence at the European Masters Ultimate Club Championship.
And actually, Tomáš Malec is his sporting hero, which is very sweet.
He is here on the sideline. He will be glad that his son could have made the decisive defense of this tournament. Eštoková now on the far sideline.
Looking for that up line cut, goes with the offhand backhand to find Esther Michalkova. That one deep, and Malec reels it in. Wants to pop into the end zone. Hörny's not there yet. I think that is a travel, because he's taken himself into the end zone, so he resets his feet back outside. Červenec goes back to Štokova. Reset, yes, no, miscommunication. And Esther Michalkova. Well, I'll start that again.
That's unfortunate.
Michalkova can't catch up.
Michalkova, yeah. Štokova really knows how to step around her mark, but because she's so small, it's sometimes very hard to tell whether she'll be able to, and I think Michalkova just didn't really believe in that. Swedish.
Oh, nice grab made there by Renström. Not the first time she's come up good in this game. Fredriksson with a fierce mark takes the reset. Safe, sensible option there from the Swedes. Edgren. Thank you. Into Fredriksson. Ooh, showing that high release flick. Be very brave to put it at this time, but he goes for that blade over the top, and I think he catches Hörny off guard, and he finds Eriksson Sveiven.
It did turn towards the break side, making it that much more difficult for the defender to see.
Renström goes back to Lindblom. Eriksson Sveiven going short.
Sweden with all the time in the world.
You can see Hörny is straining every sinew to try and get the disc back, but so far he's being kept at bay. Fredriksson. Oh, he's going for the high release flick again. This is going to flow and invite defensive pressure. And it was a risk that he shouldn't have taken. Just got too cheeky with it. And he was punished for his nonchalance by Szymon Červenec.
That was a cheeky little throw. Sweden had all the time in the world to actually conquer that end zone and take this game within one of the hard cap. But instead, Slovakia will have one more chance to score a point, and they take a timeout as they tiredly fall to the ground for a bit of rest.
Yeah, we'll take a little break here in the booth as well, partly just so I can get my breath back. Don't you dare go anywhere.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, WJUC, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our
our
work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the ultimate world and beyond.
Right now, he's gonna have to bid. Just a
Football! Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed.
Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Steer.
Welcome back to the World Juniors Ultimate Championships, part of the Joint Juniors Ultimate Championships. We are live from Wrocław, Poland, bringing you under-20 mixed action between Sweden and Slovakia. Slovakia, having taken an 8-6 lead, have been ransacked in this second half by the Swedes, who've marauded their way to a 13-9 lead. Very nearly had game point there, but Slovakia rebuffed their advances. And now Szymon Czerweniec will bring the disc in off this timeout. Benji Rees alongside Rahel Troshnarova, and we are loving it out here. Well, I think they had one thing in mind off the timeout, and they're going to try and strike deep to Herney, and he reaches over his head to make the catch. Only ever had one plan in mind off the timeout, and it worked to perfection.
Juraj Herney, third time the charm. The first time around, he didn't even try to go deep. Second time he did, but the disc was just out of reach. And the third time, despite having zero separation, actually having to outrun the Swedish defender in the form of Eriksson Sveiven, who was there earlier and about 2 meters in front of him as he started running. But this time he finally realizes that the wind blows it to the near sideline. And he brings it in for Slovakia. Staying alive in this exciting under-20 mixed matchup.
So almost like the Goldilocks deep shot. The first one, not on. The second one, also not on. But the third one was just right. So 13-10 the score.
Still more than 5 minutes of game time.
You see it in here. Straight from the timeout. Only ever one thing in mind. Leans back and cranks the arm to get the deep look. Shields him out. Does Herney. And then strides long strides. And he reaches over his head using that full wingspan.
Well, Herney is 189 centimeters. So it's not that hard to make yourself big and wide in the end zone if you're that tall.
That is 6'2" for those of you who use imperial measurements, which is pretty much just Brits and Americans.
So if the Swedes can reel this one in, it will be a game to 15. If not, who knows what happens.
They're going to start on this downwind sideline, swinging to the center to begin the play. Alvin Andreasen. Oh, it's going to be tipped. Is there a chance of a rescue? No. Slovakia will get a break chance.
The Swedes so far not looking too bothered, knowing that they still have this 3-point buffer.
But you want to keep it that way rather than let Slovakia eat away at it early.
Michalková picking up for Slovakia.
This one all pops off the hands of Jakub Kolen. I think he's saying there was a little bit of contact in the back.
He did have the disc in between his hands. And again, players gathering in front of our screen to watch the replay.
Yeah, you can see them engaged in discussions. You hear the horns in the background. Those, I think, from the Netherlands support. But they don't hurt. But they don't hurt the atmosphere here either.
Seems like even without the replay, the players will agree that the foul will be contested, meaning that the disc will be sent back to the original thrower.
Yeah, or sent back to the previous point at which possession was uncontested, which is almost certainly the previous thrower.
Ester Michalková.
Here's Monika Struharova. Schmatlanek. Oh, nice reaching grab there by Ester Michalková from that throw from Schmatlanek, who she lists as one of her inspirations for starting the game. Schmatlanek goes into space. Here's the lefty. Estokova gets it around the mark. Schmatlanek continuing towards the break side. Chabala. Little give-go. One more throw could do it here, but they might have to be a bit more circumspect. Take advantage of the face mark. Low into space. Just, and I mean just past the bidding defender. Nela Janowska makes the catch, and Slovakia only 2 down now at 13-11.
Janowska swipes that out of the air. We know she's a great receiver in the end zone. She gets high, but she gets low too for that one. I think that was almost another situation that a similar situation to what we saw on the other side, where we saw Michalková laying out through that throw for the Swedish score. Just a split second missing for the D to be made. Let's see that one more time. Great layout bid.
What I like about some of these layout bids that we've seen, there was the one down this other end zone as well from Shromova.
Shromova it was, sorry, yeah.
Is that they're not creating contact with them. They're good, clean bids.
They're clearly going just after the disc, straight sort of into space and not into the person. Lovely spirit from both these teams. Excellent awareness.
Yeah, Slovakia, clearly, metaphorically at least, going down swinging.
So Slovakia managed to steal one break back. They're 11 down on Sweden.
Yeah, you'd imagine that the cap will go on during this point. So we'll have 14-11, game to 15, or 13-12, game to 14. We'll find out which very soon. Here's the pull from Slovakia. Eriksson Sviven steadies himself and now just plays a little bit of give-go with Filippa Renström. Not this time though, Eriksson Sviven, this bladed early out of the hand. And the Slovakian defense pressures enough to get the turn.
He thinks about the situation for a second, calls nothing, realizing that that throw was probably a bit too blady for him to have any chance on the catch, apologizing to the thrower for not recognizing the trajectory of the disc earlier.
And now Slovakia pick it up. All that is way too high for Estokova.
Sweden get it right back. A bit of huck and D.
Renström finds Arensmeyer. Arensmeyer, there's a bid in there, comes through, and Sweden catch it? Cornelia Oskarsson, how are you doing this?
We know she can catch under pressure, and here she is streaking for the end zone for the score for Sweden. They go 14 up.
Game to 15 it will be. Cornelia Oskarsson has some sort of, I don't know, otherworldly magnetism for the disc. It's crazy.
And here is the Swedish sideline going Sverige, apparently. That's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, it is indeed.
They make sure to yell it into our faces so that we don't struggle with that pronunciation anymore. Here are the
No, we got the message.
little kids, little fans of Sweden with their big Swedish fans.
I love it. Absolutely love it. You see Oskarsson getting it off the sideline, only slightly though to Adensmeyer, and then taking off deep and has that position. All it requires is the throw to be accurate and true, and it was.
So a first potential break point for this game. Sorry, game point of this game.
Yeah, Sweden could end it here with a break. Obviously, Slovakia will be trying their utmost to ensure that doesn't happen.
We see Martina Kmecová get off the sideline for Slovakia. She seems to be the coach for them here as well. Currently gathering club experience all around Europe, playing with the Austrian Wunda team at WCC earlier this year, but also participating in several tournaments with some Spanish team, including Guayota.
Here's the pull from Sweden. Rolling, going low to his knees, making the catch is Molnar. Getting the disc back from Zagorova.
I would love to see Slovakia take the disc towards that far sideline. They tried to do it, but Sweden gets in the way.
Scholten. Going back to Eriksson Sviven.
Sweden can take this game home.
Lindblom. Fredriksson. Here's an option underneath. The ever-reliable Renström. Been so impressed with her game today.
It's a great upline cut.
Lindblom to the end zone. Finds the target. Juliet van Kwali. And that is game. Sweden, with a 15-11 victory, will take their place in the top power pool.
Heartbreak for Slovakia. And a huge celebration for Sweden. They get surrounded by their national flag. Their fans ecstatic on the sideline. What a second half for them. They have really taken this game by surprise. And they come out victorious. Well-deserved victory. Great fight from both teams. I think the Slovaks still have lots to be proud of. Plenty of moments for the highlight reel in this game. It's been lovely to watch.
Yeah, Slovakia came up short on this occasion, but I think they can definitely still be proud with how they played out there today. It's frustrating, but they put some wonderful footage on show there for fans of the sport, both at home and worldwide as well. When people ask me, any good games you'd recommend from this week? I think this one's got to be right up there, Rachel.
I agree. But nothing is over yet here at field number 1 in Wrocław. WJUC continues on. We have the 17:00 slot of the local time with the women's power pools coming up.
It is indeed. And it will be Austria versus Great Britain. And yourself and Christina Obermeier will be in the booth for that one. And I'm excited to watch it on the sidelines as well and drink in a wonderful atmosphere here in Wrocław, Poland. Thank you very much for watching Ulti TV's coverage of the Joint Junior Ultimate Championships live here on the WFDF YouTube channel. And if you want to get notified whenever we go live here this week, make sure that you subscribe and ring the bell for notifications, with all the under-20 games streamed here and the under-17 games available on Ulti TV's YouTube channel. For all of our crew, for Rahel Toshnerova, I am Benji Rees. Your final score is Sweden 15, Slovakia 11, and we will see you on the other side.
Ulti.tv